There's a sense in which you can be so loyal to what is working and forget that it's going to change. Therefore, there's something called creative rebellion. Rebellion at a level where you are able to self-evaluate and self-question, where you are able to almost pretty much predict or discern the end of an era and to begin to organize yourself for the new one. When they got the Old Testament, nobody told them this Old Testament is temporal. The Lord did not say, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Old Testament for a while. He just told them, I gave you the Old Testament. And it is in the Old Testament that they have writings such as, whatever the Lord does is permanent. Nobody can add, nobody can remove it. He does it that men may fear him. So they've learned that as well. Whatever the Lord does is permanent. So they thought, if the Lord is the one doing this Old Testament, it wasn't called Old Testament, it was the Testament. If the Lord is the one doing this Testament, it must be permanent. So the Pharisees and the Sadducees were so loyal to it, the Messiah they were waiting for all their life came and they persecuted him. And a lot of times in the face of change, you can be so determinedly holding on to what is going to kill you. Determination is not a factor of production. Land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, you can't find determination there. People are sincerely in jail. People are sincerely poor. People are sincerely frustrated. People are sincerely raped, sincerely destroyed on a daily basis. People are sincerely suffering. People, you can be so determined. Can you imagine if a fish begins to complain about the economy of the sea? And it's like, this sea, the tilapias are too desperate these days. We need to organize something against the croakers. Let's find something to do. The jungle is our next destination. Let's relocate, And then with determination, they are moving to the jungle. Because they are independent variables, they will have the right, just like an adult, to do whatever you will. So they will get into the jungle with determination. But because the environment in the jungle is not built for a fish, they are going to die without less determination. You can't jump into the swimming pool and swim on your own terms. You can't jump into a pool and say, I want to swim like this. This I'm going to swim all through today. Now, because you are an adult, you will have your way. Because nobody can choose your life for you. You will have your way, you will have your terms, but quite frankly, you are going to perish on your terms as well. Because there is a protocol of swimming. You must know that protocol. You must learn the protocol. As a matter of fact, you must master the protocol. Then you must yield to the protocol for you to swim successfully. If by any articulation or any silly assumption, you assume that the protocol is not true, because you are an adult again, you will have your way, but you are going to die on that way. So there is a protocol to things. There is a way things should work. The Bible says, wisdom and understanding shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation. And a lot of times we miss the idea about change. And yesterday I articulated very strongly the idea that when you read statements like, we are leading change, statements like, we are driving change, statements like, we are birthing change, they sound right. So many great books in the world have articulated the possibility of driving change, of leading change, of birthing change. But quite frankly, when you really look at it, you can't birth change. Change is not like a human being. Change is what creates the human being. Change is an independent variable. It's not a manipulatable quantity. Every time when people say they are birthing change, they are leading change, what they are doing that they don't know, or what they are trying to say without knowing, is that they are responding to the arrival of change or to the outcome of change, because change at its earliest arrival is noiseless. You don't see it, you don't hear it. You have to be at a level of consciousness. You have to be at another level of awareness for you to be able to pick the very beginning of change. Yesterday I told them, if you sleep with somebody that is HIV positive, you don't hear an alarm or a sharp pain. Boom! Say, what's that? You are HIV positive. Say, oh, come on. Why didn't you tell me? You should have told me. You don't hear any sound. If you sleep with her or you sleep with him, you are going to enjoy the sex like before. You are going to get up like before. You are going to feel cool like before. You are going to come to climax like before. Everything will be perfect. The semen will not be dry because the person is HIV positive. Your head will not turn to the other side because it's HIV positive. Everything is going to be perfect. You are going to get up like before and walk away with all the swag that you brought in. But as you are walking away, so is your life walking away. You're pretty much like dead in that minute, but nothing is showing. No announcement is saying anything. There's no pain, there's no discomfort whatsoever. And something as serious as your entire life was arrested in that minute. And you felt nothing. That's how change is. If a woman conceives now out of sexual intercourse and she gets pregnant, she doesn't hear bones come together. What? I'm pregnant. Come on, what you do? No. She doesn't hear anything. She doesn't feel anything. But change has begun. Massive change. The birth of a new life has begun. Give it 3 weeks. Give it 1 month. By the time she says, I'm pregnant, that's not the beginning of change. That is the arrival of change that you are now responding to. Am I talking to you? When Samson lost virtue, he didn't know. Something as massive as his entire strength. This is the source of your strength. This is the instrument of your relevance. Your head must not be cut off. You must do everything. He left him, he didn't know. How can your greatest strength and your greatest power leave you in a subconscious way? The Bible said he got up like before. He wanted to go. That means by the way he was feeling, by the way the environment was, nothing suggested that virtue had left. That is why there are unconscious losses. You can lose something you are not even aware that you lost. You wouldn't even feel bad. You wouldn't even cry. You wouldn't even complain to anybody because you are not even aware that anything left you. It is in the day of contradiction that you realize that something is missing here. Am I talking to you? And Samson got up like before. Nothing was gone. Nothing was there. Noiseless effect. HIV, noiseless effect. Conception of a baby, noiseless effect. That's change. Virtue living Samson, noiseless. When David was anointed, he didn't get a crown on his head until 13 years after. Nothing around me showed him that he was king of Israel. But change has begun. That's the new king right there. But nothing showed. When Saul was rejected as king, the crown was still on his head. As a matter of fact, the crown was there for another 13 years. He must have thought to himself, finally, the words of Samuel can fall to the ground. He said, I've been rejected. This is the 4th year. I'm still here. 5th year. I'm still here. 10 years after I said I'm rejected, I'm still the king. This Samuel must be finally, God has left him. You know, but God has not left him. You just don't understand the character and the science of change. Because change are managed in dispensations and with palliatives. You see, when Hannah was barren, it wasn't a desperation that brought the baby. The Bible said the Lord shut the womb of Hannah. The Lord shut the womb. That means, and whatever the Lord shuts, no man can open. Yes, so there's no prayer point that can open the womb. Because the Bible said the Lord shut her womb. Okay? So there's no desperation that could have shut it. You see, the baby that is destined to proceed out of Hannah is a baby that will take over the priesthood from Eli. So it can't be born when Eli is still 42. It can't be born when Eli is still in charge. So he had to be born towards the end of the ministry of Eli so that by the time Eli is fading, a new quantity can come on the force. Because automatically when power is fading, it's an automatic announcement of the arrival of newness. And so the baby in the womb of Hannah was destined for something, and guess what? And God also needed a desperation to be able to give him permanently to the Lord. Maybe if the baby had come on time, he would have become a lawyer, or become a doctor, or become a scientist. So all of that desperation said, Lord, I will give him to you. Now you are ready. And you are not just ready, even after she prayed the prayer and Eli prayed with her. She didn't get it immediately. The Bible said at the time of life, it still took time. There's still an arrangement. There's still a design. Am I talking to you today? The question before you is, do you understand that if you are ready, you are late?